Okay, so welcome back to my tutorial for the Arkham Knight Glitchless speedrun category. So we just saved the clock tower from the militia, then we came back to talk to Oracle, and now GCPD is getting hit with a lot of gunfire, so we need to defend GCPD from the militia. So go out here.
Keep your guns trained on that door. We are not dying in here. We've come too far. Let's show them what it means to be GCPD.
I like to dive out. So you have this militia here. Instead of fighting them, what you do is you run into the Batmobile and just drive it into all of these guys, and maybe shoot some of them if you need to. Once you take all of them out, you can then pull down this fan.
I need to stop the militia from breaking into the lockup.
So then go up to where the fan used to be. Grapple here. More Joker who's trolling you.
And now you're gonna get them all killed. Seriously, let's just get out of here and leave them all to die. I'll only have to come back later and butcher them all anyway.
So get out of this crate,
It's going to be a lot more painful.
you'll see the tanks everywhere. So now what you want to do is ordinarily what you would do is you would hack this flying drone, but you actually don't have to. You can just drop here and crouch under. You can die from doing that, but and sometimes also when you go under, this thing explodes, some debris hits you, and you have to actually go through the entire dialogue scene with Oracle, and you can only walk. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. So now what we do is we line launch to get there a little faster. And I like to freeze this guy with the shield. Yeah, this is just a normal fight. A little scared of this. Oh, so you can also use environmental takedowns on this big guy. That's actually very useful. So I just threw an some
I can power up the backup
conditioning on him
generator to get those doors open.
So now you can quick fire these for only one of them. If you try to quick fire it for another one, it doesn't work very well. So aim for these other two.
Oracle, the backup generator.
So this upcoming tank fight, there are 60 tanks, and this tank fight is very difficult on hard when you don't have that many tank upgrades and when you don't have armor. And even with that, it's still pretty hard. But there's a way of cheesing it on hard that makes it much easier. And what you do is you immediately take out this guy, but immediately go to this alley back here. It constrains the enemies just coming from one direction. Oops.
Diamond back offline.
Good shooting.
Okay. And then it's definitely much slower, but it makes this tank fight much more doable. It's not quite as necessary on the other difficulties, but if you are struggling with this tank fight, like I do on hard, then definitely do this.
Remove them. I can't. As soon as I trace the source, it switches. Barbara Gordon.
Batman, I primed my tank to explode. Just fire the shot.
You cannot sustain their hope any longer, Batman. They will die afraid and forsaken. Reflect on your failure as you salvage their corpses from the rubble.
Hacking target.
I've lost the drone.
Yeah, so what the idea is, you want to destroy these guys and charge up your missile barrage.
There's no way they're getting in.
But sometimes it works very well. Sometimes I don't know. I have a hard time with using the 10, so I just use the 1.
You cannot stop it, Batman. Their world is crumbling.
So now we have
The ones
these
that fight at
missile
your
launchers
side still
left.
believe in you.
Unfortunately, you have to now, I don't have a missile barrage, so I have to shoot them. So I'll just shoot them. And shoot this one.
We lost the drone unit in the cauldron.
Yeah, and if you're having a hard time, you actually do have some upgrade points to upgrade your armor. So upgrade your armor here if you're getting low on armor. I happen to do it without needing armor, so that's nice.
There's nothing left, sir. Nothing.
So in general, I would save your armor for this last tank battle and this last fight on the GCPD roof.
All drones
So now we
destroyed.
fight these
did
guys
it.
on the GCPD roof.
No, wait. Scarecrow shoved infantry on the roof. They're trying to bypass the security lock. I can hold them
So
off, but not
there's
for
like
long.
this
Batman,
weird
I've
thing
got
where
control of the
you
security
kind
and
of
utility
the
systems on
camera
the
gets
rooftop.
kind of weird
I
here.
can
So,
take the
but
bastards
anyways,
out.
grapple up
You
here,
just set
grapple
them
up
up.
here. Then you have these guys here. Do a fear. Start out with a fear takedown on any free guys. Then I like to freeze this guy. And, do your-
You're not walking away from this fight.
Whoops. Then yeah. So then there's the next wave of enemies.
What the?
Batman, defend!
Here, this should help. I like the sound of cracking skull.
So this is just a fight, but when the big guys are all gone, this fight is not too bad. But yeah, there are ninjas. Ninjas are always a little tough, especially on hard. Okay, so then there's this last wave. So with this last wave, what I like to do is I like to stand next to this gate and do an environmental takedown on one of these one of the two big guys. Then I like to freeze the next big guy and fight the rest of the guys.
Get him over the fence!
Then for this last big guy, I try to. You generally want to throw him onto the vent, and that's the fight. So now you go to Panessa. I like to fall a little bit here. Do some grapple cancels, and then as usual with Panessa, once you get to the helicopter pad, you grapple boost off of it. Then yeah, and then you'll generally get to here and
Dang. I've
trigger this dialogue by the
Open.
time you get to this door. So now we go down the elevator. Get the line launcher out. Line launch to the cell where Jason was,
Damn.
and line launch back.
So, there goes another boy wonder, lost to another.
Yeah, and so then we find out Scarecrow is taking Jason.
If it's any consolation, I can't see him matching my incredible work with Jason, can you?
So we have to take the elevator up. There's some cutscenes that we have to listen to.
What a waste.
So first we get out here, we're gonna get a message from Barbara, who's mad at us for locking up Jason. Then this stays. So now be sure to look at Joker so that this little dialogue triggers. So now we want to get to Scarecrow. There are a couple ways to get there. So the way I do it is I grapple here, I do a boost off of this, and then I dive bomb and then do some grapple cancels to get there. There's another way of doing it that I'm not good at. I've never been able to do it successfully, which is to grapple here and then cancel it like this. It's harder. That's the first time I've actually ever gotten it. it's faster to do that grapple cancel than it is to do the boost and dive bomb, but the boost and dive bomb is easier as usual. Anyway, so if you don't know where to go, you can always select the map marker.
Alfred,
You want to
I'm
go
going to get
basically
myself into
underneath
Scarecrow.
the Miyagani
It's
Bridge.
the only way to save Robin and Jim.
So
Consider
right
your
here.
decision wisely, sir. There could be no coming back from this.
You give up and we're done. Both of us. There's no Why give up? There's so much more fun.
Yeah, so here you have to listen to the Scarecrow stuff.
How fitting that I will win. And Batman's
You're gonna have to press spacebar to take off your belt eventually.
What I have done to your precious city, but because you are scared of what I will do to your friends, your family. They are your weakness, hiding just below the surface. I'm sure that you're scared of what will happen when I tear that mask from your face. What will we find? Your true identity? Or proof that without your mask, you are nothing, impotent, powerless, afraid. Leave your equipment on that table, and we can find out.
Yeah, so leave your belt on the table, spam space to do it, and then you can walk to the door right now, to the truck door.
Now,
And yeah, spam space, and then you'll go inside. So now you don't have to do anything until the truck crashes. So it's a good time to go get some water, go to the bathroom.
Can you hear me? I'm detecting someone tracking
Things that
your
don't require
movement through
anything.
the city.
You can also like
knew
mess
you
around,
I
do some
think
slide
I may have
kicks.
missed something, sir. Who are you?
The die is cast, Batman. And from now on, I need your undivided attention. The nightmare is almost over. Your failure almost complete. I can see it. And soon the whole world will see it too. Your eyes betray you. You are truly.
Yeah, so now there's this crash. It doesn't really matter where you are in the truck, you'll end up in the same spot after the crash. So now we run towards the dumpster. So basically what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to change this difficulty to easy because this Joker fight on easy is very fast if you do it correctly. On hard it's much slower, you have to counter a lot more like I said before and other things. So what I do is, so you go down up the dumpster, climb down this gate. There are two doors you can open. You can open either this door or this door. I choose this door because it's closer. And then when you walk here, you can immediately go to the parents. If you were to press space on the parents here, your Batman will walk around to this side of his parents, and that's a little slower. So yeah, see, so that he walks. So if you actually stand a little bit further to the left, then he wouldn't do that walk.
Such a happy couple. Shame about the kid, though. Poor little Brucey never quite got over it now, did he? Well, there's no point crying over spilled blood. It's time to move on, kiddo. Let go. Take a load off. Join your parents. Uncle Jay will take it.
So in this fight, the thing is that you actually don't need to counter at all when you're on easy. So just
let go.
don't. So basically, just punch and don't hold a direction. Try to get critical strikes. So time your punches so that you get critical strikes to fill up your combo meter in 3 hits. I messed up there. Yeah, so that's the optimal way of doing it. So you basically would have
If your mom and dad could see you now,
3 punches and then take down.
I mean, just take a look at yourself. Just think all the loved ones you're abandoning.
On hard, it doesn't quite work out that well because they attack faster. So hard, just counter a bit more, be a bit safer. Otherwise you'll lose your combo and it wastes a lot of time.
So you finally lost.
So basically for that fight, don't hold a direction, just time your punches correctly so that you get critical strikes and you can do that fight very quickly.
This time, you've got the mind of a killer, and that mind is mine. It's over, Bruce. You crossed the blood-red line, and now Scarecrow's going to set me free.
Okay, so now we go to Scarecrow. So we skip through these cutscenes and you're going to get into the Joker mobile. So I shoot here, then shoot up here, shoot up here, then shoot here, shoot here, and then the rest of the guys are going to be on the first level, so you kind of just rotate through and just shoot them as they keep spawning. Then at some point you see that your weapons generator is getting charged. It'll get charged at some point, and then you do this killing joke. Then go towards this door here and press the exit Batmobile button, so Joker will escape, and get out, and you'll get out close to the door. So now you're gonna walk through this hallway. First you'll see Penguin. I know some people like to shoot Penguin, but it's faster not to. Sad, you let him live. Letting him live's a little faster, but doesn't matter too much. Then you have to shoot the hostage and Riddler. Like in general, I'd prefer not to shoot either, but you can't get through that hall without shooting the hostage and Riddler, or just the hostage. So now we kill Two-Face.
Stop. Stop this madness. Please.
Yeah, so now we see Gotham burning. Eventually you'll be able to skim past this cutscene.
Do you know what happens
this
now,
cutscene
Mr.
is
Wayne?
unskippable.
I'm not going to kill you.
Part where Scarecrow's
I'm
talking
going to set you free.
Bruce Wayne as the Joker.
Free to see the city you swore to defend tear itself apart. Free to see everyone you love hunted down and killed. Every scream, every death. Vengeance for all that Batman has done.
Good.
What? Do you not understand? It is over.
Get ready for the encore.
Why aren't you scared?
Okay, so now after you zoom into the eye, you'll be able to skip this cutscene. So when it goes to black, then spam right click to turn on your flashlight. Go to Joker, and then once he goes into the fire, turn around and walk down this hallway.
Crispy.
So then walk towards the end. Joker's dialogue is going to change and say no, or oh, wait a minute, and yeah. That's when you can turn to the left and then walk down this hallway. So now in this hallway, what we want to do is you have this arch, and then you have this arch. When you get to the second arch, turn around and you see a Batman statue. So shoot Batman statue, shoot towards the legs so that you shoot it quicker. So now we have Harley. While we are talking to Harley, we're going to talk to her, then shoot these chairs, because that's where we're going to exit the room. And I shoot them while Joker's talking to Harley, because you can't interact with her during that. So now, when he says, I know what you're trying to do, look this way, and then turn when he says, I know what you're trying to do, and this doors, or that area is now open. So now, shoot this radio when Vicky Vale says Joker. Not this one, but when he says, the Joker.
Any thoughts on the occasion?
Sorry, who?
The Joker?
So shoot that, and that, otherwise you have to wait for the radio to break by itself. Now I looked at this newspaper until Joker says, "How do I get out of here?" And after he says that, then turn around 180.
How do I get out
and then there's going to be a hole in this door. So shoot these statues. Just shoot any statue you see at the start of this. And then if you don't see statues, just jerk the camera around a lot until they spawn in. So there's statues. Shoot the feet again. Shoot the here and then shoot there. So I still don't quite understand exactly how this works, but what I do is basically continue just spawning in and shooting statues, and make sure that
Show your face!
yeah, just shoot statues, and you'll hear this crescendo in the background. And when Joker says "out of ideas, bats," that's when the crescendo really starts to peak. So shoot all the statues around you. Make sure you at least have 3 rounds in your thing, and then jerk the camera around, and Batman will pop out towards, like, around the peak of that crescendo. If you don't shoot the statues around you, then actually what happens is Batman won't pop out, and you have to wait another crescendo, which wastes like 30 seconds, which is a shame at the end of the run. So I made sure to have 5 rounds, or at least have more than 3 rounds in my 3 rounds in my shotgun at least, so I could shoot that thing 3 times, and then walk forward. So then you walk forward. I just walk forward while spamming spacebar, because at some point you're going to interact with this exit switch.
Oh, you know, you almost had me scared back there. Me? What have I got to be afraid of?
You're afraid of being ashes. You're afraid of being forgotten. And you will be forgotten, Joker.
So,
Because of
for this, I just walk towards Batman. I don't shoot at him. I don't know if shooting at him slows you down, but intuitively to me it would. I don't know if it's true though. So then, then you do an environmental takedown on Joker, and then beat him down. And that's the end of the speedrun. So you lock up Joker in this mental prison. Batman is basically immune to Scarecrow's toxin just from sheer will, and you get this ending scene where you lock up Scarecrow. So I'll let this ending scene play out, but I'll end the narration. So thanks everybody if you've been watching through this video or this series all the way through, and I hope that if you watched it that you learned something, and that you pick up Arkham Knight speedrunning, especially the glitchless category, and leave feedback in the comments if you have any. I can incorporate that feedback into any future tutorials that I make.
Gotham?
Thanks, and thanks for watching.
You have
Bye.
no savior. No more hope. No more Batman. I've won.
I'm not afraid, Crane.
Impossible. Without fear, life is meaningless. No.
What's wrong? Scared?
No.
He's strong. He's going to be okay.
Look after him, Jim. Look after them all. You've been a good friend. The best I could ask for. You were there at the beginning. And now, you get to see how it ends.
Best gift you've brought us all night.
I can't believe he showed up.
So Bruce Wayne, huh? If it's all the same to you, I'll stick to Batman.
They're coming for me. No! No!
You sound scared, Crane. Get used to it.
Sir, it's over. The whole world knows. What now?
Gotham still needs Batman. For one last night.
And then?
Prepare the Nightfall Protocol.
Are you sure?
There's no other way, Alfred.
It needs voice confirmation.
Martha.
Very good, Master Bruce. You can be sure your instructions will be followed.